Are you ready for fall yet? Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing the Grateful Harvest Project recipe, and I'm super excited to share that with you and all of the Grateful Harvest products. Before we get too far into that though, let me just let you know that I am hosting a virtual Croptoberfest this year. It's going to be November the 1st. If you're interested in that, will you please send me an email? You'll find my email address in the details of the video, and I would love for you to join me. So you're going to need to send me an email saying that you're interested, and then I will send you all the details and the information and where you can go to register for that. Let's see, what else to tell you? Oh, we're also going to do December days in November and December. So if you'd like to join that class, I would love for you to join me for that as well. So details about that are forthcoming. I'm kind of waiting for our holiday collection to drop so that I can include what's needed on the supply list and get that going for you. But if you're interested, again, email me. My email is in the description of the video all the way down at the bottom. So go ahead and send me a quick note and I will get you the information when I have it for you. Okay, let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, I bet you can guess what we're doing today. Of course, we already just talked about that in the little intro, but we are talking about Grateful Harvest today. Grateful Harvest is the fall collection. We always have a major collection that comes out for spring and for fall. And this is our beautiful fall collection. And I'm so excited to bring this to you. And I don't know if it's because I just love fall so much. In fact, when I was a student, I had a class one time that was it was a preschool, teaching kind of class, and we had to do a lot of projects, and my projects always were based around pumpkins because it was an easy topic because it was a fall class it was fall while I was taking this class, and my teacher one time said, "You must just really love pumpkins," and I thought to myself, no, well, they're an easy topic because it's fall, you know. But she ever since then, I've been a little hypersensitive to, do I just really love pumpkins or do I just really love fall, or what do I really, appreciate? I think I just love all of the color that comes out in fall. There's just something about the mixes of the oranges and yellows and reds and greens and blues of certain hues that just really grab me. And so I love our fall collections when they come out. Grateful Harvest is certainly no exception to that rule, and you are going to love the colors. The color scheme is just beautiful. The coordinating cardstock is pumpkin, canary, avocado, caramel, which is a new color, and beige. And there is a blue in here too, but I'm not sure we have a cardstock that matches this blue. Maybe possibly baby blue would be good with this. Anyway, we are going to do the project recipe for this today, but I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to share with you this collection. You can get the designer paper pack, which has all of these beautiful printed papers, which we're going to play with today in the project recipe. And I can just sort of flip through these for you real quick here. We've got this one with leaves and one with, pumpkin spice lattes and what have you. This is my favorite with the pie. Oh my gosh, can't you see just making a cherry pie out of that? And, just these other beautiful designs. I'm just super, super excited about these papers. Aren't they beautiful? This one especially with all the leaves. And then you've got a plaid tone-on-tone paper pack. It's not all plaid. It's plaid on one side and then this sort of I'm not sure what you would call this type of a pattern, but it always reminds me of like a cement style type pattern, like a stained cement. And so in all the same colors, the green, brown, gold, red, orange, blue, you've got this kind of mottled cementish pattern on the back. So a really fun pack. And you'll notice that the coordinating cardstock that matches this adds cranberry, which I really like because I'm a red girl. So I really like the addition of the cranberry. And I think you could add cranberry to using the designer pack as well if you wanted, especially because the pie sheet definitely has cranberry in it. So does the leaf page. So anyways, just some ideas. Also wanted to share with you as a part of this collection, and I'm just going to move the papers so I have a little more space to share with you about this collection. You've got your fun mats. If you enjoy using mats, these are fun. Autumn leaves and pumpkins, please. This one says pumpkin spice and everything nice. Leaves are falling. Autumn is calling. Thankful, grateful, blessed. That's one of my favorite phrases. Fall is here. The great outdoors. Beautiful leaf for journaling. Harvest season. Good times. Farm fun. Into the wild with a cute little wheelbarrow. Harvest blessings on a yummy looking pie and seasons to celebrate. Okay, so those are your fun mats that go along with this. You've got these beautiful laser cut borders. I highly recommend, if you enjoy getting these borders, that you buy 2 sets because there's only 1 in each set. And then you can do 2-page layouts super easy because you have 2 of each border. But aren't those beautiful? I love this one with all the pumpkins, of course. I also love this one and the variation on the color of the leaves. Just gorgeous. And this one with the wheat is also really cool. So lots to like there. And then, we're not going to use these today because we're going to play with our punches today. So, but I did want to make sure that you saw these beautiful, beautiful borders because they're just the coolest. And super quick and easy. If you need to do a fast layout, these are the best and they make your layout just shine. So gorgeous. All right. The other cool thing about this collection, which is not typical for CM, is they have again given us 3 different embellishment kits, and I'm really enjoying that when they do this because it allows us to get the one that applies to what we like best. So if you are a fall football fan, look at these super cute tailgating embellishments. The cooler, game day, your chairs, your dogs, your hamburgers, grill friends, hanging with my grill friends, it says. But maybe you don't watch football, or maybe you do watch football, but you also enjoy going hunting. You would love these, and these are just super cool as well. And there's a bow for bow hunting. There's a rifle for rifle hunting. You've got your binoculars, hunting buddies, born to hunt. My dad was a shooter, but he was not a hunter. He was a target shooter. I love the turkeys, and so I would probably buy this pack simply for the turkeys for Thanksgiving, and apply this to maybe something besides actually hunting a deer if I was to get this. But anyway, that's just me. A lot of people here in Utah really enjoy hunting. I'm just not into that. My dad was never into that, so I have never gotten into that. And this one is actually for
harvest time. So this one is really cool for those of you who enjoy just the fact that this is a harvest time of year. Maybe you live in a farming community, or maybe not. Maybe you don't live in a farming community. Maybe you just enjoy the fact that at this time of year we all have a little bit of that harvest thing in our in us, and we enjoy being around that and helping out and doing what we can to put up food and things like that. So those are the 3 embellishment packs. I love that each one of these gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there must be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 embellishments in each package, and they're $5.50. So not super expensive. I love the stickers too. Look at these colors. Oh my goodness. Look at these. Super, super cute. You've got all of these fun word stickers. Awesome autumn, pumpkin season, cold days, hot drinks, eyes on the pies. You've got these beautiful wreaths with the berries and the wheat and the pies and the pumpkins. Just super, super fall cool. And then you've got a pumpkin stack. You've got all of the fun drinks for fall, pumpkin spiced whatever. And then all of the pies. So cute. So cute. And perfect for maybe you have a pie day. Maybe you should save that for March 14th, which is Pie Day, 3.14, 159, or whatever that is. I'm sorry for all my math people out there. But anyway, super, super cute stickers and embellishments. And let's not forget our punches. So we've got the fence punch, which a lot of people have been waiting for. We had the Victorian fence punch a while ago, and it's been a long time since we've had another one of these come out. I'm really liking the fact that this one is just straight. It's perfect for making a fence for a garden, or making a fence for your, border for your layout to represent your yard or something. You can put grass behind it or in front of it, flowers, all kinds of wonderful things. You could also pretend. You could also use it to represent a train tracks. So if you ever take a train or have the occasion to see a train, or you know someone who maybe that's their thing, they love trains, this would be a great punch to have to use. I know here in Utah we have a place a little north of where I live that is the spot where they drove the Golden Spike and combined 2 railroads to make the railroads go from the East Coast to the West Coast, all the way across. So that's really cool. And that would be a cute punch to use for visiting someplace like that. We also have this new Border Maker cartridge, which is super, super cute, and it's called Acorns and Leaf. And it's a leaf in the center, and then the ends coordinate to combine to make an acorn in between. So you have a leaf and an acorn, and a leaf and an acorn, a leaf and acorn. You're going to see what this one looks like because we're going to use it today. We're also going to use this one. So I'm going to pull out my Border Maker system. And I'm just going to load this real quick into my housing so it's good to go. I'm going to pull out the paper holder. Okay, we're going to use caramel as our base paper. So that's not what the designers had recommended, but we're going to use it anyway because I like to do things different. So if you are new to seeing what my project recipes look like, let me just briefly mention the Creative Memories design team will create they'll create a sketch, then they'll create the sketch using the papers it's designed for, in this case, Grateful Harvest. Then they'll put it out for all of us, and you can make exactly what they have here. You can follow each of the instructions right here and the cutting guide, which we're going to discuss in just a second. But you can also change it up and use any papers in the collection that you want to. The project recipe actually suggests that you use the Stardust White solid cardstock that we used that I used in the layout you're going to see on Wednesday. And it is a white cardstock with flecks of different colors in it. It's very cool and fun to use, but I just want to do something different today since I already used that because I recorded that one yesterday. I think we're going to just go with the caramel for today, and we're going to use that as our base paper. I have another piece of cardstock out here. This is avocado. It is in the color line for this collection, and we're going to use that for matting. And then I have these other three designer... Oh, my son's having a good time upstairs. These three designer papers are the ones we're going to use to go ahead and create this project recipe. So for right now, I'm going to just move the base pages over here so that they are a little bit out of the way. And we are going to concentrate on cutting these papers right here. So here's our cutting guide for this project recipe. You'll notice that one of the papers is just used with a circle, and that's it. We're going to use the paper we're going to make the circle out of, and we're going to punch using our border maker system so that we add just a little something different to our project recipe. So I hope you're okay with that. I think it will be a fun thing, and it'll be nice, for you to see how it looks, and you can choose to do it or not do it. Totally up to you. Okay, so we're going to start with, first off, I'm going to place this up here so that you can see it. I'm going to move this cute picture of Maggie. This was just an extra picture that I printed the other day, and I thought, I'm just going to leave her on my desk. She is a cutie. I'll set that over there, though, for right now. All right, so we're going to use this paper first, and I stick Post-it notes on to remind me which paper ultimately I decided I was going to go with, because there's just so many choices, and sometimes I get confused. So this paper I'm really loving because it's got that dark, rich, hot fudge kind of background, but it's got all these flecks of color in it. And the more you look at it, the more color you see, which is kind of cool. I know that might sound kind of crazy, but initially when I looked at this paper, I thought it was mostly just brown, and that there was only color in a couple of areas. And the more I look at it, the more I see the oranges and the yellows and the reds and all the different colors. There's even green that pops out at you if you look at this enough. So just a really cool piece of paper. I really like it. This is the back, and this would make some cool borders, I think, either direction, but we are going to use this side. So we are going to use this as paper number 1. Paper number 1 needs to be cut in these 3 areas, and then you're going to have some extra over here. But we are going to first cut a piece at 3 by 12. And this is a non-directional piece of paper, which, as I was studying the design, for paper number 1, you want a non-directional piece of paper. So if you choose one that maybe like the one that has the lattes on it and stuff, the hot chocolate and whatever, the cute little cups with the pumpkins on the side, that's a directional piece of paper, and it's not going to work well as paper number 1. You'll see why when we get that far. And I just cut this other one at the same size, but it actually, I got a little ahead of myself. This actually is supposed to be 2.5, not 3. So I need to trim a 1/2 inch off of that and then save that for another day. I was talking and I got a little ahead of myself. So we've got one that's 3 by 12, one that's 2.5 by 12. Then we need another strip that is 2.5. So we're going to line that up at 2.5 and cut that. This is extra. We'll set that aside. We're going to turn this piece and we're going to cut it at 7 inches. So I'm going to pull the arm of my trimmer out. We'll move it over here so you can see it a little better. We're going to measure out to 7 inches and trim that. So this is our 7 by 2.5 inch piece. Then we have 2 pieces that are 2.5 by 1.5. So we're just going to take this and we're going to cut it at 1.5 inches. So I'm going to measure 1.5 inches on the right hand side of my cutting line. I do that because that lets me balance my paper on this side. The wider side of my trimmer helps me keep my paper straighter. So 1.5 inches. Here's one. We're going to do another one that is 1.5 inches so that we have 2 of those. All right. So those are going to go right there. And this little bit is extra. Okay, then next I'm going to pull out this cute paper that I was just talking about a minute ago with the lattes on it. And this paper we are going to cut and we are going to punch. Okay, so with the paper going this way, and you can see that all my cups of yumminess are reasonably upright. Some of them are tilted, but they are reasonably upright. If we turned it this way, they would definitely be sideways, which we don't want. So this page is going to be a little bit sideways on the paper, but not too bad. We need to do some horizontal cuts. So to cut this direction, I'm going to turn my page this way so the top is over here on the left. Okay, and we are going to cut the first piece at 6 by 12. So we're going to measure out here to 6 inches. And that is our first piece, 6 by 12. Then I'm going to measure a piece to 2 inches, 2 by 12. All right, so there's our second piece. And then we need 2 punched borders. So I'm going to save this. We're going to flip it over and we're going to use this side to do our punching. So I'm going to set this aside for just a second. We'll get back to our trimmer in just a second. But first we're going to punch 2 fences from this golden leaf side of the paper. Okay. So let's go ahead. I was hesitating there for just a second because I remembered I actually have not used this punch yet. And sometimes when you are using a brand new punch, and I'm just going to back that up. When you're using a brand new punch, sometimes you get a little bit of overflow of the lubricant. And then it can get on your paper and make like a watermark. Also, just want to mention with this particular punch, you've got a little notch right here. I don't know if you can see that very well on the camera. That's a little bit better. So that little notch is going to help you as you are guiding your paper so that you don't do what I did just a second ago and kind of overshoot where you need to line up the punch. Okay, so here you can see I've got my little notch right here in the paper. So as I feed my paper through and try to line up my design over the blue, I'm also going to line up that notch, and it's going to help me know where I need to line up that design so that I make sure I'm not skipping bits of the paper. Okay, so there's one fence. I'm going to turn this around so I don't have to take the time right now to trim off those little notches. And I'm going to line this up. You'll notice it's not quite deep enough for me to push it all the way back and know that it's where I need to start out here on the front, because we have a little point that's on the punch to tell us where to start the paper. So the way that I do that when I have a paper I know I can punch from, because I know it's wide enough to punch from, but it might not be wide enough for me to see where to start, I'll just line it up right here so that I know that edge is right where the mark is. And then I'll just gently place my finger right next to the side of my punch and onto my paper and scoot it back to the guide in the back. And then just hold it there. And then I know that my edge is where it needs to be to start that line. Okay. So we're just punching and sliding all the way across. There we go. All right, so that is the fence border punch. That's new. I'm going to grab my cardstock. We're going to cut the cardstock down here real quick first. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this horizontal cut here, this 6-inch cut. So I'm going to line up my cardstock with my 6-inch marker at the top. And then I'm going to turn this and I'm going to cut it into 3 pieces. So I'm going to line it up at 4 inches, 2 and 3. Okay, so we'll just set those up there. And then this remaining piece, we're going to cut at 4 inches. This piece is extra, so it goes over there. And we're going to turn this and cut it at 4 inches so that it is 4 inches square. Okay, so we're going to set that up there. This is extra. Then we're going to return to our leaf paper. And I'm going to put my trimmer away. Now we're going to do a couple things with this paper. We're going to cut this circle right here, which is a 5-inch circle that we're going to cut in half. But we're also going to punch this paper. So I'm going to use my Border Maker system to punch this. And I can use either side of this paper for this purpose. So just so that I can kind of see what it's going to look like, I'm going to use the leaf side up, which I think is what I think that's the side I'm going to want for this layout. But I've loaded my paper, and if you've never used our Border Maker system before, wow, you have a cool thing to learn. Go to this video and learn about how the Border Maker system works. It's a super fun system that allows you to punch lots of fun, decorative borders for your pages, quick and easy, just like I just did. And I'm going to save these center pieces for the leaves. We'll see if we can use them in something. Okay, we're going to punch one more. So we have one for each side of our layout. Oh, that one just tore, but I think we'll be able to use it still. It's not too bad. Oh, that's why. That didn't quite cut through. Huh, okay. All right, there's that. I'll fix that when I glue it down. It won't be a big deal. So I'm just going to separate out these centers. We'll see if we can use those. Those are going to hang out over there for me. Okay. Now, the only other thing we need to do, well, not the only other thing, but the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this circle. And I am going to just double check and see which circle we need. J and K, use the medium CCS circle and the blue blade. And it doesn't say, but I'm fairly certain that's on the outside. So let me grab that. Oh, we've got permanent and repositionable adhesive we'll be using today as well. So let's see, medium circle. And we need a 5-inch circle. So that's going to definitely be around the outs. Well, let's see. A 5-inch circle. It's going to be bigger than a 5-inch circle if we use the blue blade around the outside of that one. That's interesting. Use the medium circle with the blue blade to cut a 5-inch circle. All right, well, we're going to go with it. We're going to follow their instructions, and if it's too big, then we'll figure out what to do from there. Okay, so blue blade, medium circle pattern. Custom cutting system is also another one of my favorite tools because I have never been real great about drawing a pattern and then using my scissors to cut it out. I always end up with a flat spot, especially where circles are concerned. So we're going to just, come on. Put our circle with our blue blade, which is what they said to do. And then I'm going to measure this because that is a 5.5-inch circle, or just about, but that's all right. We're going to go with it. So then I do need my trimmer one more time. I guess I lied. I'm sorry. But we are going to cut this in half. And if you take your 12-inch trimmer and your circle, which you know is perfectly round, and you just place it against the bumpers at the top or the bottom, it'll help you perfectly center that circle over the cutting line, and you can cut it right in half. Okay, see? Ta-da! There's our 2 halves of 5-inch, 5.5-inch circle. Okay, so we are going to now lay this out, which should be super fun and not too difficult. We'll see how it comes together. Okay, so I'm not a big one for reading the instructions. I just look at the picture and kind of figure it out as I go. I hope that's okay with you and not going to bug you too much. If you've been watching my channel, then you know that that's kind of just the way I roll. So, and sometimes it goes smoothly, and other times, sometimes it gets a little dicey. But for the most part, we do fine. All right, so we're going to work on this left side right here first. Okay, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece right here, which is piece C. It's I think it was 7 by 2.5-inch piece, and I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive. And if you are at all unsure about where a piece goes, use your repositionable adhesive. But this one I know goes right here in the corner. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this one right here in this lower corner. All right. Then the piece that's going to go over here and be vertical is going to be the same paper, note the same color, right? So it's going to be the same paper, but it's going to be that 3.5 inch piece. So the wider piece of the brown with the pretty colors on it. We're going to go ahead and put that going vertical on this side, right up against the edge of the cardstock or the page. If you're working on a naked page, which this one you could certainly do on a naked page. Okay. So let's see. Now we are going to go with this piece, and this piece is this one right here. So it is going to be a little bit wonky, but I think it will be all right. And by wonky, I just mean that my lattes look like they're being spilled. Because when you use directional paper, sometimes that happens. But if you chose paper that was non-directional for paper number 2, then you're good to go and shouldn't have a problem. Okay, so that piece is going to go right there. I'm going to take one of my punched fences, and we need to trim this off at 7 inches. So I'm going to just grab my trimmer, put my arm out again, and we're going to measure this so that we can trim it at 7 inches. I'm going to go a little bit beyond 7 inches and tuck it under, I think, just because I just think it will look nicer rather than cutting the fence post in half. All right. So for this one, I am definitely going to use my repositionable adhesive. And that way I can just run it across and not worry about it trying to get on just the paper for any of that. Okay, this is going to go right across the top of the piece on the bottom here. So just like that. I'm going to grab my multi-purpose tool, which is hiding because I put it away. Where's it at? There it is. Can't see it around my hydro flask. Isn't that a funny word? Anyway, okay, so we're just going to lift that paper up and tuck that fence right under. And it's good to go. Okay, then we're going to take some of, I'm going to use this one, the one that I tore the end off of, because I only need 7 inches of this one as well. So we're going to just add some adhesive to the back of this one. Rubbing it off my table before I forget that it's there. And I'm going to, once again, just kind of line that up so that my, my leaves are a little bit more, I don't know, just a little more centered, I guess. Okay, and I'll lift this paper up and tuck this end underneath. So we don't have to trim that. Then I can come in here with my scissors and trim this side real quick. Then I'm going to come in here with one of these, I think. Let's see if it'll work. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. Yeah, no, it's not going to be exact because it would be exact if we went like that, which we could do, but I don't think I'm going to. But we could save these and use them maybe for on a different one. So it's fun to change that center up and just fill it in with another color that would be a cool thing to do. And if I can, maybe I'll go back and punch these some more so that I can add that in. Maybe we'll do that at the end. We'll see. Okay, I need my round mat, or sorry, my 2 of my 4x6 mats and the 4x4 mat, and I need half of my circle. Now we could leave this circle green and put it right there, and then add these on top like this. This looks like it's a little closer, and then this is kind of in there like so. Or we could scooch it closer to the center so we're utilizing our paper just a little bit better. I feel like it would be a little more, we give it a little more continuity if we did that. So we can leave this green here, which pulls the green from the mats and everything, kind of coordinates it. Or we could flip this circle over and do the same circle that they used in the example, which I hate to use the same one that they do, just because I feel like it's nice to have an alternative for you to see. But in this case, it might be necessary because I don't think I want that to be green. I think I want to leave it that marbly, sandy cement color. Well, I tell you what, let's assemble the other page while I think about whether I like that or not. And then we'll come back to it in a minute. Let's work on the right-hand side of the page. So this side right here. I feel like it's in the shadows, and I don't know why we have so many shadows going on, because I haven't played with my lights. But anyway, okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our latte paper. Who out there likes pumpkin spice everything in the fall? Are you a coffee drinker? You like pumpkin spice in that? Do you like pumpkin spice in your cocoa? Do you like just the scent? I'm more of a scent person. I don't drink coffee, so that doesn't really appeal to me, and I don't really like it in hot chocolate. So I'm more of I like the smell of it. So maybe I'm weird that way, but anyway. All right, so we've got that bit, and then we're going to take our brown and this one's going to go across the bottom. So it meets up, and this is the 2.5 by 12 inch piece that you have left from what we cut. So that goes across the bottom, and then our fence goes all the way across. Okay. So this fence line is going to be right across the top of that cut piece. So just like that. Then we're going to take our leaves, And we're going to put this across that seam right there. I think I am going to go back and punch this the opposite direction so that I can put those knockout bits into those leaves. I think it would be really cute. And oops, glad I had my repositionable adhesive in my hand when I did that. I want this side up, so we need to add the adhesive to the back. So this piece is going to go in here. And you can see from the example there that it goes beyond or underneath our punched border. So I'm going to just lift this up just a little bit so that I can slide this under, because we've got about 1/4 of an inch between where this piece ends and this arch begins. So it's going to look about like that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, in addition to that, they have used a sticker up the side here. Now, that works great if you have a piece of paper that is not busy. This piece of paper is pretty busy, so I think rather than using I'm going to see if I can get some photo placement cards to show you. All of my 3.5 by 5s are busy on my Croptoberfest samples. Let me see if I have some more in here. Don't think I do. Let's see. That one is too small. Those are 4 by 6. Clearly, I need to cut some more. Okay, let's just cut some. Then we will have what we need. I need 3 so we can see where the photos are going to go. So bear with me here just 1 second. We're going to just cut a couple. Yeah. All right. So the size photos that they've used in our sample up here are 5.5 by 3.5. And they will go on here like so. So you can see that it blocks a lot of that busy pattern when you add your photos. And depending on how much of a border you give around the outer edge, or how much you put in between your photos, can determine whether you need to worry about adding something up the side like they have here. They added that, I'm sure, for color, because they have all this color down here. They needed something to balance the color up here. But because I don't have that problem, because I used a printed piece rather than using the more mottled brown like we've got down here, I just don't have that issue. So what I would probably do is move these in, center the one in the middle. So I would add this. Let's find the middle. There's the middle. I'm just going to put some repositionable adhesive on the back of this because it's going to need to come off eventually when I add a picture. I'm just going to center that in the middle. So my middle photo will go there. And then each of these photos on the edge will be just 1/8 of an inch from the one in the middle. And that will allow me a nice look at that pattern going around the outer edge. All right, so like that. Then we have a photo that's going to go down here and cover that up right there. Here's our mat that's going to go down there. So we'll just go ahead and put the mat right down there. This is roughly 1/2 an inch or so from the edge, 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, 1/2 an inch from this side of the layout. Okay, covers up the base of this. Let me go ahead and I'm going to just punch 1 row of our leaf paper so that we can get those negative knockout pieces. And put those in. And I really only need 1 border, even though I punched 2 borders before. I only need enough to do what's showing. Okay. This border is a little bit of a booger. Just so that you know, be real careful, be patient, and just know that this one gets stuck a little bit and you don't want to ruin yours, so just go slow. I'm going probably faster than I should to punch this, but I only am wanting those inside pieces, so it's not as critical to me to be super careful. Maybe it should be. I should slow down, shouldn't I? Okay, so we've got these. Get these off my desk. Okay, that piece is done. Okay, let's go ahead and make sure that these will work. They do. Oh, good. Yay! I mean, theoretically, they should work, but you never know. Sometimes my brain thinks I've thought stuff through. Yeah, I really like that. So I'm glad I went and punched that again. So we're just filling in the knockout part with the back side of the paper that it was originally punched from. Here's where a set of tweezers on your desk or in your toolkit can be very handy. Okay, there we go. And we probably need just a little bit here on the end, but I'm not going to worry about that just now. Let's jump back over to this first page and we'll get the rest of these put down. Now see, I need 1, 2, 3 more, and I've got 3 more right here, so that's perfect. We'll get these put down. I'm going to go about 3/4 of an inch from that outer left edge. And I'm centering this design coming off of this mat. They actually have theirs a little bit higher, but I think I'm just going to go with that. That's going to allow me a little bit more room at the top for embellishing, which I think would be good. So this is going to go about 1/2 inch, a generous 1/2 inch from the top. You could probably even go like 5/8 of an inch from the top, and flush that straight edge goes right up against our latte strip, cocoa strip there, with all the cinnamon and acorns on it. Okay, then this piece is going to go right on top with about 1/8 of an inch in between those two. And the 4x4 is going to go right over here with about 1/8 of an inch between it and the other mats, and between it and the fence. There's about 1/8 of an inch there. Okay. Now we've got these two little pieces that we cut up here, and you're probably wondering where in the world do those need to go, and how come we didn't get those stuck in? Well, we're supposed to flip them over, but I don't really like the back. So I want to use this chocolate with the speckled colors on the front. And they've turned these into cute little tags. You can see, I don't know if you can see that on your screen very well, but basically they've taken their scissors and they've just knocked off the corner of each of these, trying to make it as even as possible, right? Same thing with this one. And if you have a tag punch, you could run it through your tag punch. I have one, but I just didn't grab it to get it out. But you could certainly run it through your tag punch if you would like. Okay, you can get a small hole punch and you can punch a hole in the top. I can grab my CM hole punch, which is hiding right in here. Ta-da! And come in here and just add a little circle to the top of your tag. Like that. That might be too big of a hole, but what's done is done. It will be fine for what we need. Okay, so that's going to go right there. I'm going to add another one to the other side. Okay, so this one will go right in here, and then we'll do our embellishing on top of those cute little tags. All right, so let me get these in the right order on my tabletop so that you can see properly what this is looking like. And mind you, these will be photos, these won't be white. So hopefully you can kind of keep that in mind. But I love how the fence carries across, and I really like that we added this leaf in front. I think that's super cute. And it adds a little more green to complement the mats that we're using as well. So I'm liking it so far. Are you liking it? I hope so. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and grab one of these embellishment packs, or maybe I'll just grab my stickers. Let's just grab stickers, because this is going to be a rather generic layout. We're not going to use this again because we've got a lot of color going on, although we could have added our pumpkins to maybe here just to add a little more color. So that's something to think about. Maybe I will set that aside and consider that a little more while we're working. I'm going to go ahead, let's see. I'm just going to lift that out just so that I can build on that little tag, which is super cute. We're going to use stickers. So I need a title sticker. That's what these are in general. Some of them are smaller than others, but basically what you're looking for is something kind of to focus the eye and let it rest. And so I'm looking for something big. They've used this awesome autumn sticker right here as their main title for the page, which is super cute. But again, I like to do something a little different. So maybe what we ought to do is pumpkin season, because that would pull some of this yellow up to that top upper area. That would be a good one, pumpkin season. And then we could do, what else would we want to do? If we're doing pumpkins, we would do maybe Pickin' in the Patch for another one off to the side. Pickin' in the Patch. And we could say bountiful or grateful or abundance. Cornucopia? No. But I'm liking abundance. Let's use abundance. We can put those two together. Just going to layer those just a little bit. And those will go over here. So this one will go up here. This one will go over here. That'll pull a little bit of yellow, that kind of canary color, into both of those areas. And then I need another something for right in this area, right here. And I don't think I need yellow necessarily because we've got the fence right there. So I think maybe I'll wait just a second and we'll figure that out. Let's grab some foam squares. Here's my foam squares. We'll keep that one out. And I'm just going to pop these up because I want these to have some dimension, and I want to be able to see the words more easily. So by putting my foam squares on here, I can then set this down and get a better idea design-wise what we are working with. So it just works best, I have found. To go ahead and add those on. Okay, so that one will go over here. Then let's see. Let's add a pumpkin stack. That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? Pumpkin stack with maybe a leaf or 2 or 3 leaves. Grab some of these again with the yellow. It's nice. Actually thinking maybe, well, I think we'll go with that for right now. Okay, we put this one up here with this. let's see. So this guy, we're going to add some adhesive to the back of this guy. Let's start building this up here. So this guy's going to be tucked in underneath and kind of over the seam where the circle goes. Okay, so he's going to go about right there. And then this guy is going to be a little bit over the mat. Just a little bit over the mat. I think I want my pumpkins. I don't want my pumpkins to block the little bit of color that is on that tab. Maybe we'll scooch them over. Like that. Not going to be able to see very much color on that tab, but that's okay. I think it'll be all right. I think that will work there. Let's go ahead and put this little tag in here. That one's going to go like that, with that kind of there. And we could add some other another pumpkin stack down there, or we could add maybe the wheat. Maybe we'll go with the wheat and some other leaves. My poor son sounds like he's having a hard time up there. Let me scooch this over just a little bit and add that wheat in right there. I'm going to tip that just a skosh, as they say, and then that will go right there. I think I like that, but I'm wishing that I had a little bit more going on up here. So what if we added maybe the cinnamon sticks kind of off in the corner. We can add a little foam square onto that as well, so that those are reinforced a bit and not falling. Kind of like that. I think I need something a little more green underneath these leaves so that they stand out just a little more. And then we'll put an acorn in there. Put this acorn right in there as well. Kind of fills in the space. Okay, I like that better, but let me grab a foam square or two to put on the back of the cinnamon so that it's not just sort of out there flapping. And then we're going to grab our powder. Make a big cloud. Woohoo! Cloud of dust. Okay. So these are stickers and they are flush down and that is already adhered. I'm going to peel the back off of the main title sticker foam squares, but I'm not going to peel the back off of the bottom one on the cinnamon sticks because I want it to stay popped up so that I can add it right there to the corner of that photo without, and still be able to add my photo underneath it. Does that make sense? Okay, so we'll just leave that stuck on there. All right, and let's go ahead and get this stuck down. And we need to powder the back of this guy so he doesn't stick where he's not wanted to, where I don't want him to stick. Okay. Love that anti-stick powder. What did we do before that? Cornstarch or linen, like sticking it to our jeans. That's what I used to do. I used to stick it to my jeans to try to keep it from sticking to my layout. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. The powder is so much nicer. Really, really love that they came out with that and that now it's in the line so we can have it all the time. It's not just a special thing. All right, so I need just a little cluster to go kind of right in here, and it doesn't have to be big, it just needs to be a tiny one. So what if we got maybe just our little, this little pumpkin pie looking thing that says Happy Harvest. And what could we add to that? Some leaves maybe to go with that. Or maybe just some acorns. Cherries. I think I'm going to save the cherries for maybe using with the pie with the cherry pie filling that you can see through it. So let's use these acorns. We'll just kind of add those onto the sides. Put one under and one over. Then it adds a little variety. And the question is whether I can get the stickers to unstick from my fingers without destroying my little cluster I made. Ta-da! Okay. And I'm not going to pop that up. I'm just going to let it sit there. We're going to put it maybe just a little on the edge and just barely on top of that mat so that it can just kind of sit there and be happy. Okay, now the question in my mind was, should we or should we not add color from maybe one of these border strips to this area up here? But taking a look at that, I think it's going to be just fine, just the way it is, because we've got a little bit of green up here already with this cluster going on. We've got green over here with our mat and a teeny bit of green on our pumpkin right here. not a lot of green happening up here. Maybe if I had another sticker I could add in there that would add just a little more green, that would be good. Let's add a little acorn that's got some greenness to him. We'll stick him there. That'll just add just a little extra touch of green. We've got our green in our leaves right here, so that kind of carries the green across the page and allows us to be able to journal. This is a really nice journal spot right here. But if you had another photo that you needed to add, this would also be a great place to add a photo to this layout. Or you could add a photo right up here as well, or use this area for your journal box. Lots of choices with this particular project recipe. I'm not much for leaving a lot of like wide open space. It's not that I need to fill it. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like there should be something sort of there. So I guess I do need to fill it. I feel like I need to fill it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, would you? Let me know what you think about this project recipe. I like the way, I like certain things about it. There's other things that maybe I would have chosen differently, but I think it's cute. I think it works good. And I like that it accommodates so many photos. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 photos on here as it is. Enough room that we could put 1, 2, 3 more, which would be 10 photos, which would be remarkable and very cool. But also, you wouldn't put 10 photos if you want to journal. So, and journaling is important. I highly encourage you to do that. So, again, in the comments, let me know what you think. And until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Enjoy your day.